Welcome everyone here today. Um, we are so blessed in many ways. Blessed by the weather, we can handle the wind. The rain that came yesterday, we were a little bit worried. But as usual, those clouds parted, and here we are today with this wonderful gathering of you. We come here to celebrate life just by your mere presence. We come here to honor life by remembering those who went before us and all the sacrifices that they've made so that we could enjoy this beautiful paradise. And we come here in order to strengthen life. Because if we don't tell these stories, who will? And we need to remember and use our wisdom and not react to the horrible things that are happening in this world, but taking a message from those who came before, especially those we're honoring today, to make sure that we have a brighter future for those youngsters. We can call you all youngsters, everyone from Youth Challenge on down. You are still youngsters to us, but I'll tell you what, the future is what you make it. And the people who we honor today set a fine example of that. Now, our speaker and many special guests here today are indebted actually to one man, Mr. James Ho. He was unable to travel from his home in Oahu. Jim is 93 years young. He's a World War II veteran, historian, and president of the Hawaii Chinese Multicultural Museum and Archive. Jim's unwavering dedication to honor and remember World War II veterans is so inspiring. On a cruise ship where he once lectured, Jim met George Takeda and Shigeru Yoshijima, who served on the Army transport ship, the Royal T. Frank, during World War II. After sharing their amazing story, Jim Ho promised to pursue the installation of a memorial monument dedicated to the servicemen of the Royal T. Frank to honor, preserve, and remind future generations of this important historical chapter of Hawaiian history. Our speaker today, Wayne Yoshioka, will share a more personal account of one fateful day during World War II when 29 lives were lost, 12 crew members, and 17 servicemen. The story waiting to be told is of the 9 survivors who were rescued that day. All except one went on to be members of the 100th Battalion, shipped off to the European theater. And we know the rest of that story, don't we? After the war, these 9 survivors found each other, called themselves the Torpedo Gang Survivors, and vowed to have an annual reunion on the anniversary date of the attack on the Royal T. Frank to honor and remember their fallen comrades, just as we honor our fallen comrades today. The Torpedo Gang survivors and families kept true to this pact and met annually until the early 2000s. In the year 2000, after 58 years, a special ceremony was held right here where a granite memorial was placed near this flagpole and dedicated to the fallen servicemen from the Royal T. Frank. While the Torpedo Gang survivors are now sadly all gone, we are honored to have several family members here today to honor the legacy of their loved ones and to remember their stories of sacrifice, service, and brotherly love of these brave servicemen.
And I've been to many of these programs, and I was just sitting there thinking, like to Lewis and Adams, it's kind of sad that it seems like for the many decades, the most people that participate in ensuring that programs like this continue. Programs like this continue and recognize those who gave so much for this country. I think of the Veterans Home. We have a beautiful Veterans Home in Hilo. And if it weren't for a veteran of Senator Inouye and the veterans here who pushed for it, it would not be here. I guarantee you it would not be here. And almost every program of this kind, I don't know about the rest of the nation, all I can say is of here, the vast majority of the people who attend these programs are related to veterans of the wars or veterans of the wars themselves. I wish this place was packed to the brim of this community of ours to say thank you to all you veterans. I wish we would do that every day to let you know how much we appreciate you. And as I look into the audience, and I look at my dear friend, who is now, as I said last time, a chiropractor. Every time I look at him, I cannot think about our failure. So I will repeat it here. Our failure of those who benefit from those who serve today, tomorrow, and yesterdays. I think he is symbolic of what we should always remember. He comes in here and I always see him. I remember trying to keep up with him going to Tripler, feeling kind of sorry for this old man. And who am I to say, because I'm older than him? Because he has lost his entire leg from the hip down, and he was on crutches. And we were in the wrong place at Tripler, and had to go down the stairs, up the stairs, and across. And my goodness, I couldn't keep up with this guy. And if anybody of you, any one of you, try to keep up, you'll find out what I'm talking about. But I'll talk about him to remind us of our failure. Our failure that this morning I read in a paper that 3/4 of Americans don't even know what Memorial Day is all about. I'm sure some of you read that. So just think about that. 3/4 of the Americans of the United States of America, the most blessed place to live in regards to because of veterans, don't know what this day is about. So I will speak to you and all veterans. As he talked about the Vietnam veterans of being transported to the hospital in Guam, as he was very seriously wounded, obviously. And to talk about the lack of care, the shortage of care, that this government has sent them there, forgot a promise that we should never forget, and that is to take care of veterans, where they have training before they go, of supplies when they are there, and the resources they need when they come back. And he stated to me that I've stated to all Congress people, how can this veteran says he saw more people die, Marines die in the hospital of Guam than in the battlefields of Vietnam, because our lack of care, of resources, of the stench, and the pain of people. When I first heard of that, I swore within myself I would not tell people that, because I did not want parents and loved ones of veterans to even think of the possibility that their son or daughters may have died, but only after they survived the war and to come back to be taken care of and ignored. It was during the aid program that I decided no more should we remain silent. No more should we remain silent in regards to what we owe the veterans. To all of you, I ask of that. How can 3/4 of the American people not know what this day is all about? Which I know the vast majority of you do know, is we stare out there in the fields of the American flag, and many, many memories go across us. Like you, I love this country. Like you, I have the highest respect for all veterans. And I ask of you, we always say we must remember. We must say we must not forget. And we must do everything to remember that. Thank you very much.
Good morning, veterans, family, and friends. My name is Colonel Sam Merrick, and today I'm going to be reciting In Flanders Fields by John McCrae. But before I do that, I want to say a huge thank you. It's been an honor to be a part of the ceremony for the past several years, and it's sad to say that this year is my last year of saying it, but I hope that we continue to do this, because this tradition is important for young men and women to find appreciation for this poem, this ceremony, in our country, just as it's done for me. John McCrae wrote in Flanders Fields after his friend Lieutenant Helmer died in battle. And his reference that grew over the graves for poppies and the fallen soldiers resulted in the remembrance that poppy is becoming a worldwide symbol that recognizes soldiers and those that have died for us in conflict. In Flanders Fields, the poppies blow. Between the crosses, row on row, that mark our place. And in the sky, the larks, still bravely singing, fly, scarce heard amid the guns below. We are the dead. Short days ago, we lived, felt dawn, saw sunset glow, loved and were loved, and now we lie in Flanders Fields. Take up our quarrel with the foe. To you from failing hands we throw the torch. Be yours to hold it high. If ye break faith with us who die, we shall not sleep, though poppies grow in Flanders Fields. Thank you for everyone coming today. It's been an honor, and I appreciate you all. Thank you.